Hey, you all, welcome back to Pearls of Eden. Thank you for joining me. And today we're continuing on this topic, this hot trending topic in our nation and in America. And yes, your girl is going to speak on it because I feel led to. And I've got so many clips that I have pulled together, some from news networks, some from my lovely viewers that have sent me content to review and to just share my thoughts about. And let me tell you, the Lord put a word on my heart yesterday when all of this went down that there were going to be many people from all walks of life, from all nationalities. This was going to be the turning point where people were going to actually stand up and sound their voices on behalf of Donald Trump. And we're seeing it coming in like rolling waters, right? And so I'm going to review some of those clips. I'm going to give you my reaction to it while filling you in on what's happening, because there has definitely been a shift, you all. Now, we'll break it down as we get to it, but let's take a look at this first clip.
Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 charges. And you liberals and Democrats are having a baby. Boy, y'all shouting for joy. We got him. We got him. We finally got him. Are you serious? He can still run for president. So don't jump for joy. Don't celebrate too quick. Just like the mugshot. The more you indict, the more we unite. You get what I'm trying to tell you? And let me talk to my family out here, all my Trump supporters. I need y'all to be cool. Don't go out there acting crazy. Don't get out in the streets protesting, causing a riot. That's what they want you to do. Let everything run its course. Because November the 5th, Donald Trump will be president. I'm telling you. You heard me? We gonna make this thing so big to where it can't be rigged. Trump 2024, baby. Let's go!
Okay, so today Donald Trump is pandering and peddling lies and stereotypes. They're trying to erase black history. We're going to write black history because it's American history. It's the same guy who wanted to tear gas you as you peacefully protested George Floyd's murder. We'll never forget lying around and him lying around, actually.
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir? Do you think the conviction will have an impact on the campaign? We'd love to hear your thoughts, sir.
Should he be on the ballot, sir?
It doesn't matter how or what you feel about Donald Trump, but if you're a true student of the Constitution, if you're a student of law, even if you have a moral standard of justice, all of America ought to be afraid right now for that man to be convicted without the right to adequately defend himself from charges that weren't even stated. We've lost our republic. Our Constitution is dead. And everyone else in America, we ought to be afraid for ourselves. It's not a good thing. And for those that think it is, that's the end.
I want to break down the black electorate and figure out where exactly is this declining support for Joe Biden coming from. Take a look at this age breakdown. Look here.
So yes, if you look at these particular numbers, this data is showing that you have 64% of voters sticking with Biden between the ages of 18 and 49, 85% 50 plus and over. But then you see that shift, you all, that's so important. 27% of the youth and 8% over 50. This is phenomenal.
Biden, look at that, 85% to 8%. But look at black voters under the age of 50.
Now, you all, this is absolutely huge because if you look at the numbers, 64% between the ages of 18-49 go to Biden, 85% in the 50 age plus bracket. Now, these are your baby boomers. These are people that are set in their ways. They're not very tech savvy, social media savvy. These are people who are just kind of stuck in their way of thinking. But then you have the vote of the youth that changes the game. 27% in the 18 to 49 year old category and 8% in the 50 plus bracket. What does this tell us? This is a huge shift in numbers, which may seem small, you all, but it will make a drastic, dramatic impact come November. And keep in mind, this does not even include the libertarian votes. This does not include independents. We are going to see a shaking like none other. Landslide victory is what I predict.
Donald Trump, in a recent average of polls, is getting, get this, 27% support from them. Joe Biden at just 64%. So, you know, we were talking about, you heard that interview, can't treat black voters as a monolith. This age breakdown shows it. It shows that younger black voters are far less supportive of the president than older black voters are.
Yeah, that is huge, that number.
This is more than huge. You've got to understand it. This is a game changer, what we're seeing. When I tell you, too big to rig, this election, November 2024, this is going to be a landslide victory. You're going to have people coming out in droves to vote for President Trump.
There, what kind of impact are we talking about? What kind of impact could this have on the election, Harry?
Yeah, you know, obviously those are national polls, but let's say that we funneled this down to the state level, right? This declining level of support among black voters for Joe Biden. What type of damage would that do to him in the Electoral College? Well, if you just took that into account and you didn't shift any other voters, take a look here in 2020, based upon the current apportionment, Joe Biden would win 303 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 235. But take into account that shift among black voters. Now, with just this shift among black voters, Donald Trump wins in the Electoral College, 291
And this, my friends, would mean a landslide victory in huge proportions. I'm talking about historical.
votes to 247. Why is that? Take a look at the states that shift. You would see that the states that shift are Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, where Kevin is right now, and Wisconsin. That alone would do it, and that is why black voters are so pivotal to Joe Biden's chances to win re-election.
Harry Enton, alarms going off on the Democratic side. A big opening for Republicans. That is an alarm right there. Harry
Absolutely. It's a huge alarm. It's spiraling. It's ambulance. It's police sirens. It's any alarm you can think of. That should be what's going off on the Democratic side. These numbers, to be honest, could be deadly to Joe Biden.
You look at current CBS News battleground tracking polling, for example, in Pennsylvania among likely black voters compared to 4 years ago in the exit polls. He's down 10% among them, with former President Donald Trump making gains. Why that matters? Elections in Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada. The battlegrounds are all going to be decided by single digits, by maybe 4, just 5 figures. Any erosion of support among key constituencies to the Democratic voting coalition, black voters, younger voters, women, Latinos, is a big alarm bell to the president and his.
We're seeing a shift in every way, even in black culture. When you think about the staples of Breakfast Club and Shade Room and World Star, you can only just look at the comments to see that there has been a shift that's taken place. People are not taking the bait. The black vote is not going to come like they expected to this election. People have turned and shifted, and it's evident.
Implement policies that will be racist. I'm just asking questions. I'm just playing white devil's advocate.
No, not at all. Not at
So they throw the typical race bait at the caller, and he's like, you know what? I don't care. None of that matters to me. I see what they're doing, and I am not for it. I will be voting for Trump in 2024. And he was alarmed by that statement. But let's listen to some other people.
That are out of control, cars out of control, gas out of control, food out of control. This is an out of control world, man.
He said about the rising food prices. See, it's like this. You know, I'm a bigger dude, so like I be needing the food, and it's like with it rising up, it's kind of hard for me to do it. And then so it's kind of different. And then the rising gas prices, I ain't got a car, so my mama the one with the car, and she be saying the gas be.
Okay, so the awakening, it is real, you all, because what they meant for evil, it is definitely turning out for his good. They wanted to wake up the people, but they didn't know they were going to wake them up in the direction going towards Trump. What they have done by this unjustful indictment is that they have made Donald Trump so relatable They have made Donald Trump the unsung hero. They have literally made him into an icon, a legend, a political prisoner. And one evening, in less than 24 hours after the conviction, his website garnered $52 million in less than 24 hours. And these are not from globalists. These are not from big wigs. These are from everyday blue-collar Americans who have had enough. They have woken up the giant. And my gosh, you all, we are in for a landslide victory. I do believe. Let's keep listening.
Mr. Trump is an anomaly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's someone that doesn't fit the norm. You expected a man to be like the other presidents. You wanted him to be more presidential. He's so transparent. You wanted him to put on a suit and act dignified, like the thieves and robbers that dress in suits and tell lies. You wanted him to be like that. He's an anomaly. You can't make him what you desire him to be so that you can say, oh, that's my president. He wasn't made that way. God has him here. What did you say, Farrakhan? Do you think that God is not interested in who is president of the United States of America? Especially when it's out of the time of evil? It's in our time now. You Muslims who are present, in the Quran, God and Satan are having a talk, and God is saying to Satan, I've judged you to be erring. Satan knows he's wrong. Any devil knows they're wrong. So God said to Satan, as Satan asked him, respite me, delay my doom. Because Satan was doomed from the day he was made. And God said to him, surely you are of the respited ones. And Satan responded to God by saying, I'm going to come after them in your straight path. I'm going to come to them from their right, from their left, from before them and behind them. I'm going to make them all to deviate. Did you notice that President Trump got in an argument with the Pope?
Now to the war of words erupting between Donald Trump and Pope Francis. Trump firing back tonight after comments made by the Pope. The Pope was asked on his plane about Trump's plan to build a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. The Pope saying the notion is not Christian. Trump immediately blasting the Pope, calling his words, quote, disgraceful. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Terry Moran was on the Pope's plane, and here was the moment.
On board the papal airplane, a stunning moment.
La Casa Bianca Republicano Donald Trump.
Pope Francis asked directly about Donald Trump's plans to build a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border and deport millions of undocumented immigrants, speaking from the heart. A person who thinks only about building walls wherever they may be and not of building bridges is not Christian, the Pope said, adding pointedly, this man is not Christian if he has said things like that.
non è cristiano.
A staggering papal denunciation, and it came after a week of Francis in Mexico again and again preaching a highly charged political message. Like those scenes in Juarez, a few feet from the U.S. border, Francis giving his blessing across the Rio Grande to undocumented immigrants in the U.S., and then demanding that more be done for all desperate migrants.
No más muerte ni
No more death, no more exploitation, he pleaded.
And Terry Moran is with us live from the Vatican tonight. And they did. ABC's Tom Yamas in South Carolina for us tonight.
It was a headline that surprised even Donald Trump.
They said, Mr. Trump, the Pope made a statement about you. I said, the Pope? What did the Pope say? I like the Pope. I mean, was it good or bad?
It wasn't good.
He actually said that maybe I'm not a good Christian or something. It's unbelievable, which is really not a nice thing to say.
Trump then turning up the volume.
For a religious leader to question a person's faith is disgraceful. I'm proud to be a Christian. No leader, especially a religious leader, should have the right to question another man's religion or faith.
The billionaire candidate accusing Mexico of using Pope Francis as a, quote, pawn in the debate over immigration and border security.
If and when the Vatican is attacked by ISIS, which, as everyone knows, is ISIS's ultimate trophy, I can promise you that the Pope would have only wished and prayed that Donald Trump would have been president.
For good measure, the Trump team even tweeting this image of the Vatican, showing it's surrounded by walls.
Yes, sir.
What kind of man is he? That he would argue with a man that every president of the United States would go to Rome and kiss the ring.
Right.
But not Donald Trump. Have you considered these things? The Pope said, well, he's wrong because he's building walls instead of bridges. That's a nice thing for you to say, Pope Francis, because there's a wall that you all have built that walls you off from the poor and the destitute. How could you say he's wrong for building a wall when Nicholas V, a predecessor, signed a papal bull giving the kings of Portugal and Spain the right to come into the Western Hemisphere and take the resources of the indigenous people, and if they would not convert, kill them.
Yes, sir.
Then wall them off in a reservation. Wall us off under segregation. Wall our people off in South Africa under apartheid. You've been building walls, not bridges. So President Trump called that a form of hypocrisy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have no right to condemn him, he said, for building a wall or telling him he's not a Christian. Suppose I told you that you are not Christian.
Right.
How could you be? 2,000 cases of pedophilia before the Vatican? How could you be? But we don't have the right to say to you, sit down. But Christ
Yes, sir.
has that authority. No masquerading in his name. The masquerade is over.
Now listen here. You may not agree with everything that this man, Minister Farrakhan, has to say. Hey, I don't either. But truth is truth. And you've got to be able to eat the fish and spit out the bones. And baby, did he lay out a full course meal here. Like I said, the truth is truth. And we are in an era where there's exposure happening left and right, where truth is being unveiled, because we are in an era of righteousness where we will rule and reign in truth. And this is just so good, the awakening that is happening. And this is just the beginning. More people will come out and speak on behalf of Donald Trump from all walks of life. So get ready, because people are not going to remain silent. The gig is up. People are going to speak and come out on behalf of Donald J. Trump that you would have least likely even expected. But they're coming in droves. So this is going to be interesting. Grab your popcorn, you all, because it's going to get better and better, and it's going to get sweeter and sweeter. And we'll see where this train goes. MAGA 2024, make America great again. Those words are prophetic in itself. All right, guys, I love you to life. I'll leave you all with this. See ya.
Say this, my mind was not made up before, but it is definitely made up now. And I will definitely be voting for Donald Trump, because the weaponization of the legal system, it is so blatant. And this corruption cannot stand. Whether I like Donald Trump or not, which I don't, I feel that it is essential that I vote for him, because I must stand against the lawfare that was put on display by the Democratic Party, Alvin Bragg, all of these folks. And it's a shame, because I'm a New Yorker. I live here in New York. And as a black man who lives in the United States and in New York, I know what it's like to have the legal system used against you, specifically targeting you. So, I mean, bro, at the end of the day, to expect us to just sit back and watch this happen and just ride with it like it's okay, like we're stupid and we don't see what's going on, that's crazy. Because if you can do something like this to a former president of the United States, just imagine, people, imagine what they can do to us. I'm sorry, but I'm all in. Trump 2024.
I love Trump, and I love what he did for me and my people as black people. He really helped us out. And what they doing right now, this is like really ridiculous. These court cases and everything that they doing towards him is like trying to get him to be, they trying to just stop him from the momentum from winning the election, but it ain't happening, man. We with Trump, black people, we really with Trump though, like, and that's what it is.
We all need to get ready. Donald Trump ain't gonna go to jail. And I feel sorry for America if they try to make him.
Purge.
Y'all thought January 6th was crazy. Let them put Donald Trump in handcuffs and say he got to book it to a facility.